So there I was, laying in my bed wide awake at 2 a.m. Instead of worrying about taxes or STDs like a normal functioning adult, I was thinking about the Nancy Drew computer games. As a wee little squirt of mustard, I used to wander the vast halls of my local Best Buy like it was the Louvre, because even at a young age, I recognized the majesty of gazing at things I can't afford, and that honestly kind of frightened me. Young Elodia would usually slap her Go-Gurt-stained hands onto the GameCube display to play the same 10 minutes of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door every time I arrived, while my parents looked at blenders or whatever people decide to raise a child together like staring at. But something was different this time. Something caught my attention on that dark, stormy day. It was the absolute ugliest box art I've ever seen in all my 7 years of life. I slammed into the nearest Best Buy employee and screamed into his face, "Hey, you blue bitch!" "What's that?" With the grace and poise of someone who's worked in customer service since the dawn of time, he dusted himself off and responded, "Oh, that's the critically acclaimed award-winning Nancy Drew The Haunted Carousel, bundled with the Tony Award-winning platinum embossed game Nancy Drew Danger on Deception Island." Shakily, I took it from the shelf and warned that blue angel that I was walking out of the store with this box-shaped treasure, and if he tried to stop me, I would suplex him into the depths of the earth. He was obviously a smart man, as he let me go that day. Also, that never happened. I asked my dad for it and he bought it. I'm sorry for goofing on you so hard. I just want you to return my calls. Ever since that day, I was hooked. I got the books, I got those weird anime graphic novels, and of course, I bought the games. Coming back to present day, a terrible thought oozed its way into my brain. Why don't you, Elodia, do overviews on the Grammy Award-winning Nancy Drew game series, since there's not enough people on this goddamn website waxing nostalgic on ancient dusty games, and you have nothing better to do with your life. So here it is, what the whole world's been waiting for with bated breath, my overview on each and every Nancy Drew computer game that I own. The first in this long line of gaming wonders is 1998's Secrets Can Kill, loosely based on a book I have never seen with my human eyes and refuse to ever read with said eyes. This game was given a remastered version where all the characters seem to have been replaced with lumpy 3D models of Gordon Ramsay, but I don't have that version, so we're going with the 1998 one, which I now hold in my sweaty meat paws. As you can see from this terrible cover, this game is meant for adventurous girls 10 and up, meaning if you identify as anything but an adventurous girl, this horrid man hiding behind the young adult bookshelf in Barnes & Noble will shoot you on sight. It really draws kids in with its non-threatening design. I want to shake hands with whatever person gave the okay on this box art, because this is what I call a fucking choice. In this epic, Nancy sets sail for somewhere in Florida to visit her Aunt Eloise, who you never see and I'm 89% sure is a figment of Nancy's imagination. Suddenly, hijinks ensue, and Nancy, a little baby girl, is forced to investigate a local teen's death because there are no police in Florida. The main menu of the game is pretty standard. You got your new game, load game, terrifying music, and
Paseo Del Mar High School student body. You look like you're going to make an excellent addition to Paseo Del Mar High School student body. You look like.
And of course, we can't forget the second chance button, a valuable option that teaches children death is always around the corner, but it's okay, because God won't let Nancy die until she's paid for what she's done. Once you start the game, you're met with 3 difficulty options that affect how hard the puzzles will be. The Nancy Drew games use a mix of regular point-and-click, putting stuff on stuff puzzles, and the bane of my existence, logic puzzles, which require deep thinking and the use of GameBoomers.com. And seeing as I'm an adult playing a children's game, I think the choice is pretty obvious. If you're ever unlucky to be living in a time where Game Boomers has gained sentience and is now attempting to devour all of mankind, another option you have to get some help is by calling Nancy's friends, who somehow have all the info without you telling them anything, and are also definitely not just Nancy.
This is Bess. Bess, I need some help. Vane residents. George, this is Nancy.
Your adventure starts with Nancy sending a letter to her Pip-Pop, telling him everything I already told you like 5 seconds ago, while Disney-grade animation plays for our viewing pleasure. Next thing you know, Nancy is plopped into one of the ugliest houses I've ever seen, which means it's time to play. Looks like dear Aunt Eloise isn't home. Of course. And she left us a heartfelt handwritten note about how she locked away the key to the library that we really need to go into in a safe instead of just taking it out to make something easy for once in Nancy's life. Luckily for us, this Topa aunt also decided not to tell us the code to her safe, and instead we have to find it hidden on some sort of college ball invitation, which we've all attended. Whew, alright, we hacked our way in. There's the key and a mysterious box. I wonder, oh fuck. It's a slide puzzle. Now that I finished this puzzle that didn't take me 5 minutes to complete on the easiest difficulty, it's time to see what treasures lie with. Alright. I've gotten everything I need from this hovel. Time to meet us some suspects. First up is this styling young chap from that cinematic masterpiece we saw earlier. He's the lucky one that stumbled onto the dead body. Anyway, this skeevy fuckboy's name is Daryl Gray. He's basically Nancy's informant for this case, and boy, is he a big help.
Nancy, I hate to leave such a beautiful detective, but I've got a hot grill waiting for me. See you later, okay?
The rest of the suspects are at the high school, which luckily for us is just a click off. Fuck. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this every time we want to go and leave the high school, which is very annoying, and I hate it. But I am a strong warrior, and I will endure it for you, because I love you. Now that we've passed her interactives, do you legally own this game test? Time to feast our eyes on this guy. Hulk Sanchez, local ball sports boy. He enjoys tossing balls 5 inches into the air and yelling at me.
Back off, Nancy.
Then we have Hal Tanaka, a Japanese foreign exchange student who came to the US to become the world's #1 manatee doctor. Don't quote me on that though. And, least but not least, Connie Watson. She's a girl that likes to stand next to magazines. Now that we've met the entire population of Florida, it's time to solve some boy murder. Yay! As Nancy's puppeteer, we must force her through the desolate halls of this high school, looking for clues and items to stuff into Nancy's clue hole. Hidden messages have been lovingly scattered around the school for us to find, which I assume were left by this universe's sick deity, mocking us as we stumble around in the dark trying to find justice in this cruel world. Besides the scavenging you have to do, much of the gameplay revolves around waddling back and forth from person to person, hoping one of them has something to say that makes the plot move forward.
Nancy, I'm starting to wonder about you. Goodbye. Bye, Nancy.
For example, this anthropomorphic football informs us that Hal actually does have the info we need to get into Jake's locker. So, we gotta ferociously click our way on over to him so we can extract that information from his lying, smelly mouth. Caution tape can't freaking stop us. Nancy Cornelius Drew fears no authority. Author's note: I do not know Nancy Drew's middle name, and I refuse to find out what it is. Alright, looks like a typical 90s boys locker. You got your video camera, your newspaper, and of course no locker is complete without a knife. I'll just save that for later. Sadly, instead of stabbing our way to the answers, Nancy just uses it to break into the teacher's lounge, which I always found odd considering her aunt works here. Why didn't she just give her a key? This vandalism of school property is on her. Subtly perusing through the staff's paperwork, what do I find? But proof that our boy Hal copied an essay from a book I barely looked at, word for word. This dick face is the reason we all have to use Turnitin.com. Filled with the fury of a minotaur whose maze has just been infiltrated, I stopped playing for a while because I needed to take a depression nap. But then I shoved that disc back in and went to find the truth. Alright, you son of a bitch, what do you have to say for yourself? No. You mean the human refuse no one liked wasn't just some skeevy newspaper-reading knife wielder, but a blackmailing one at that? And everyone else confirms it. Apparently Connie isn't just a girl who must stand by a magazine rack at all times. She's a judo master that could kill me. Which, honestly, I've never felt more lust in my entire life. Sports Boy stole steroids to kick the balls more good. And Daryl was a drug runner. Wait, drug runner? Hold on, let me just, check. Yep. Alright. We're so close to finding which one of these rascals was the killer. I can feel it in my bones. A mystery note telling us to meet someone probably not dangerous in the boiler room at school. Ooh, this is exciting. My heart's beating so fucking fast. Alright, here we... Oh, shit. Oh, no! This was a trap, I can't believe it! Time to complete the second and final puzzle. That's right, this game has 2 whole puzzles, and this one's even tougher than the last. And on our way out, what do we find? A rectangle. You know what that means, everyone. Oh my god. It's everything we already found out, but visual. Also, did Jake have nothing better to do with his time? He could have been bopping it, or watching Full House, or whatever his kids did in the 90s. Oh, well, time to go confront the killer with...
I wish I could, Nancy.
My future is at stake.
Sorry, babe. I can't risk getting involved.
I'll help.
Just... Daryl. Oh man, who is it? Oh my god. It's... this man! Of course, how could I have not known? He was always there, in the shadows, thwarting our every move. But what's this? Connie's here to save the day with her jutsus. And now, I get to kill a man today. Ah, fuck, come on, Nancy. Well, this blows.
Like a bullet from a gun, she arrived on the scene. A young detective who doesn't know the meaning of fear when she's hot on the case. No time to waste when you're face to face with an evil that is looking, but you just can't see it. Persist, persevere, and the problem will disappear. You say you in a jam.